Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube video. Today I will be analyzing the second game of the EuroLeague playoff series between Olympiacos and Fenerbahce. As always, I will be using data from the 3stepsBasket website. We will analyze the data and in the end we will check some game footage to back up our findings. As you probably know, the game between Olympiacos and Fenerbahce was mainly split in two big parts. The first and the third quarters were dominated by Olympiacos, while in the second and the fourth quarters Fenerbahce managed to turn the things around and get the win in the end. So we will start the analysis by checking what happened during the first and the third quarters, since we know Olympiacos was pretty strong during that time. Let's go to the filters and let's work with the time segments, first and third quarters. We can clearly see that Olympiacos got a pretty solid win, plus 16 points during that time. That's one thing to remember. The second thing to remember will come from the individual player stats. Since we know that we have everything limited to the first and the third quarters, we can go and sort by playing time. This will allow us to see the rotations patterns that the coaches used. Especially for Olympiacos, this is pretty clear. Coach Bartzokas decided to use mainly just 5 players during that part, while Fenerbahce split the time to more players. Long story short, what we have to remember from the first and third quarters. Olympiacos dominated the game, and they did so by mainly using just one lineup. Now let's see what happened during the second and the fourth quarters of the game. Update the filters and let's see. Fully different picture on the score, plus 20 for Fenerbahce, and fully different picture on the rotation data. Totally new faces for Olympiacos. By now we know the game was pretty unbalanced. So I'm really curious whether this imbalance is also reflected on the plus minus as well. Let's go and check this out. Plus minus. Let's clear the filters and let's sort by plus minus points. Here we can see that some Olympiacos players are the best ones regarding plus minus and some other Olympiacos players are the worst. Does this make any sense? Of course it does, since we have already seen that Coach Bartzokas decided to use different lineups during different parts of the game. So whoever participated in the first and the third quarter, they get a pretty positive plus minus, and players who participated in the second and the fourth quarters, they get negative plus minus. Now the question is, was there a strategy change or it was just the players who created this imbalance for Olympiacos? In order to understand this, we will focus mainly on 3 players: Mustafa Fall, Isaiah Canaan and Kostas Sloukas. First of all, why to select these players? I'm doing this because I know that Mustafa Fall is the point of reference for Olympiacos on both offense and defense, and then I know that he was paired together with Canaan and Sloukas in different parts of the game. So I would like to know how these combinations affected Olympiacos' game. So let's go and check this out by checking the team stats and by starting with the duo Canaan and Fall. Here we can see that when this duo was active, Olympiacos got a lead of plus 9 points with a pretty solid offensive rating and an amazing defensive rating. Now let's see what happened when Mustafa Fall was paired with Kostas Sloukas. Again, Olympiacos plus 5, with good offensive rating and defensive rating as well. But this is a small surprise. If you think Kostas Sloukas was negative, he was on the bottom of the plus-minus table that we saw before. So how is it possible that there was a part of the game with Kostas Sloukas being so positive? That means that there must be another part of the game when Sloukas participated and the game was a disaster for Olympiacos. Let's go and find this out. The obvious choice is to check what happened when Sloukas played with different centers. So let's see what happened when he played with Bolomboy. As expected, disaster for Olympiacos. Minus 8 points in just not even 7 minutes of play. And then let's see what happened when Sloukas played together with Black. Same things again. Minus 9 points for Olympiacos in just 5 minutes. So by now we have a pretty good indication on what happened during that game. When Fall was on the game, somehow things worked properly for Olympiacos, especially when he was together with Canaan. Then when Sloukas was on the floor, especially together with Bolomboy or Black, the game for Olympiacos was a disaster. Why did it happen? In order to understand this, we will check some game footage now. I have collected a series of images showing almost every pick and roll Fenerbahce ran during that game. The images don't show the moment of the pick and roll, but they show the moment when the ball handler decides what to do with the ball. As in this first example, it was a pick and roll between Zekiri and Kalathes. Kalathes penetrated, and now it's the time that he decided to shoot the ball. We will not focus on the offense, but we will focus on Olympiacos' defense. That will help us understand what was the strategy difference when Olympiacos used Fall together with Cannon, and when Olympiacos used Sloukas together with Bolomboy or Black on the floor, and how they defended the pick and roll. So I have used the yellow arrow to indicate Fall's position, so keep an eye on this, and I have also used the blue box to indicate the position of Cannon together with the ball handler of Fenerbahce. So let's check the images and let's see what happened. By the images, it's clear that Olympiacos had a very specific defensive strategy in mind for Fenerbahce's pick and roll. If you haven't noticed, Mustafa Fall was always in the painted area, and it's not a coincidence. It is because they never switched the pick and roll, and it happened because of his aggressive heads outs, together with Isaiah Cannon's intensive ball pressure to the ball handler. So the ball handler usually didn't have many options, and Fall had the time to go back to the painted area. Now let's see when Sloukas and Bolomboy were active. It's the first time that we see Olympiacos center outside of the 3-point line. Let's check the pictures and let's come with the conclusions in the end. Here we saw a different pattern. With Sloukas, Bolomboy and Black, we saw for the first time Olympiacos centers being outside of the 3-point line. Or, as in this case here with Black, we saw for the first time open defense that gave such an easy look to Fenerbahce. What we have seen in this analysis, we have seen that Olympiacos selected two different defensive strategies for that game against Fenerbahce. When Cannon and Fall were on the floor, they were both able to defend the pick and roll by putting intensive pressure on the ball handler. They closed all the passing lanes, so Fenerbahce didn't have an option to create on the offense, and Fall was able to get back to the painted area and beat to the area where he's the best and he knows what to do the best. But then when Bolomboy with Black or Sloukas were together, then it was a totally different game. Then Olympiacos started switching all the pick and rolls. And then it started creating big imbalance, obviously, in the painted area, because usually it was either Sloukas or Lare or maybe Walkup, best case scenario, under the rim, which created many penetrations from the small guys of Fenerbahce and many offensive rebounds after the missed shots of Fenerbahce because there was nobody to cover the paint. That was the analysis for today. I just wanted to show you how you can analyze a game by using the 3stepsBasket Pro website. As always, your feedback and comments are welcome, and leave them under the comment section below. Enjoy and see you in the next video.